All right, thank you, Elaine. I guess it does help if I take myself off of mute when I start talking. So anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to take a little time today and just talk about the new Wi-Fi offering, the new product we're offering from WatchGuard. We're going to do it a little bit differently. I really am going to break it up into a couple of different segments here. Since we do have just a 30-minute time window, I'm going to spend a little more time today just talking about what the product is, what sets us apart, what you can do with it, and we won't get into a lot of details as far as the setup goes. But you can look for future webinars down the road where we will start diving into a little deeper, getting this set up and working and everything that you can do with it. So with that said, let's jump right into it, and we'll go from here. So with the new secure Wi-Fi, we are introducing two new wireless access points. So these are the AP120 and the AP320. Now these new access points will give you, the 320 is the higher end device. It is a dual band 3x3 radio. Both of these devices are wireless AC, so they meet the new wireless standards. They are going to ship as just the wireless access point. So just so you know, in the past, WatchGuard included the AC adapters with our access points. We really expect these to be used in much larger wireless deployments, so we are not going to be including the AC adapters because most big Wi-Fi deals are using some kind of PoE injector, PoE switch somewhere along the way. So with that said, each one of these, they are going to be PoE Plus compatible. They'll include the wall mounts and the ceiling mounts for the T-bars. You can purchase, in addition to those, the AC power adapters. WatchGuard also will sell a power injector, but any standard power injector or PoE switch will also work with this. And we also have some separate ceiling mount kits that you can buy that if you don't have the drop ceiling T-bars that you can use to get these things mounted up in the ceilings for those. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is these two APs, the AP120 will replace the AP100, the AP320 will replace the AP300. So those boxes, eventually the older ones will go end of sale, and these will be our straight devices that we have going forward. Now, some of this Wi-Fi stuff that we're looking at, that I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because most big wireless deployments, they expect you to have these type of features. But a couple of things that I want to point out that we have not had with the older devices, very number one thing is the wireless meshing. We will have the ability to do the wireless mesh with this so that if you have a scenario where you don't have a network drop available for every AP, as is required now with the AP100 and 300, you can set up these devices to do the wireless meshing. Some of the other things that we're adding to this is some network forensics, multi-tenant cloud management, and I'll show you just a brief touch of that today, of what we can do with it. You know, all the other stuff that we're looking at, content analysis, mobile management, all of these things are going to be included. So as we jump to the next slide, this is just a quick overview of how the different APs can compare. So we still have, with the AP320 and the AP120, you can still use these devices as the WatchGuard Gateway Wireless Controller. So they will be managed by the firewall. So if you have an existing implementation of WatchGuard access points that you need to next year sometime add more wireless coverage to, you can take these existing access points, they will get in, they will be managed exactly like you have the other ones set up. So you're using that Gateway Wireless Controller features, getting all of the security, your gateway antivirus, IPS, data loss, APT blocker, all of those different things. Everything that you're doing now, you can continue to do with the new APs going forward. It'll basically be a switch you can throw that I want to have these either managed by the cloud Wi-Fi, or you can have them managed by the firewall. But say we go to a pure play wireless scenario, these devices will be able to be managed strictly by the cloud. So you will no longer have the requirement that if you want to sell a customer, or if you are the customer, if you want to put the WatchGuard access points into your environment, with the old boxes you had to have a firewall in there as the controller. So with these new devices, you no longer are tied to the WatchGuard firewall. This gives us really the ability to do a pure play wireless. Now, when we're strictly managed by the cloud, we lose the gateway wireless controller features, and we also lose a lot of the security services. So you lose the gateway antivirus, the intrusion prevention, the APT blocker, all of that stuff, but you gain wireless intrusion prevention, you gain the Wi-Fi analytics, and you gain some really powerful engagement tools, which we will talk about as we go through this. Now, best of both worlds, Wi-Fi cloud plus the UTM firewall. You still don't need the Wi-Fi controller, the gateway wireless controller inside the firewall, but you do have the Wi-Fi cloud, and you do add in back all of your security services that the wireless access point does not give you. So we've got GAV, IPS, DLP, all of that in addition. So all of the security that you need. In addition, we also have all of the engagement tools and the really cool stuff that we can do with the wireless intrusion prevention. So just so you know, these are going to be available in two varieties. So if you want to use these access points as an existing, as the existing setup allows you to do through the gateway wireless controller, you can buy the WatchGuard AP, and we put in X20 because 120 or 320 will come with either a 1-year or 3-year standard support. That's just your hardware warranty on these boxes and the ability to call tech support about them. You also will have a separate SKU that if you want to use the Wi-Fi cloud, it'll be slightly more expensive, but the feature set more than pays for the difference there. So you can actually buy these as a cloud subscription. There will be two separate SKUs on that. There will also be some renewals. When it comes time, you can renew the cloud. That'll be on the price list. You can also upgrade. If you buy just the standard support for a year and then decide next year you want to add all of the cloud engagement tools, you can do an upgrade from that. And then the other things, there also will be NFRs for all of my partners out there. And forgive the marketing slide, but they do want to make sure that you are aware of the fact that you can upgrade to the cloud from the standard support. So down the road, if you want to add the tools, that's always an option. So what sets these apart? Let's talk about this. What we really want to look at is we really have with these, there are 4 different products that are going to be combined into this. This is going to be an industry-leading product that not anybody else will have all of these features included, especially some of the big guys, the Pure Play Wireless, Aruba, Ruckus. A lot of those guys are not going to have all of these features included with their wireless offering. So the number one thing that these are known for, and just for full disclosure, this is not a true WatchGuard developed product. This is actually, we are licensing product from Mojo, who is one of the big wireless providers out there, formerly known as Airtight. One of the things that sets these Mojo APs apart, and now these are WatchGuard APs, you will see the WatchGuard name brand and logo on this, is that you have the patented wireless security. Their wireless intrusion prevention stuff is the only one on the market that does hands-off wireless intrusion prevention with almost no false positives out there. So when we talk wireless intrusion prevention, this is aimed at the people that have PCI compliance issues, HIPAA compliance, some of these government regulations that require you to scan for rogue access points. These rogue access points could be something, it could be as simple as the coffee shop next door, or it could be somebody that brought in a Linksys router from home because they wanted to be able to use their tablet to surf whatever Netflix off of your corporate bandwidth. So this technology is different than everybody else out there. They've actually it is patented. They have the ability to inject marker packets into the network that will give you the ability to actually see, okay, this will be able to tell automatically, hands-free, the difference between the coffee shop next door or the rogue AP that somebody cooked up in their cubicle. The other thing that really sets these apart is management that scales. You can have a single AP in your environment all the way up to thousands. A lot of the competitors out there are going to have problems scaling into the bigger deployments. Because these are cloud controlled, there is no controller required, whereas in a Cisco environment, Meraki environment, you might, as you get to a certain size, you might need to add more hardware, more controllers along the way. So this is going to scale all the way up without any infrastructure required. The other thing that we're going to have is analytics. We're going to be able to tell you who comes into the store, who converts from walking past the store, all of this information, how much time people spend in front of a particular display, and then the engagement tools that we have to be able to create splash pages, campaigns, even get social networking information for the users to be able to log in. So we talk about some of the problems that people have had. You know, they say, you know, if you're out in public, you don't really want to get on a wireless hotspot because it's wide open. If you're doing that and connecting back to your corporate network, make sure you use a VPN to encrypt your traffic. Wi-Fi, you know, it's easy to hack. There's all kinds of inherent security risks with Wi-Fi in general. So what did people do? They actually put out the wireless intrusion detection, the wireless intrusion prevention systems, but those were typically only available to big enterprise. They were not something that the local retail outlet could put in place in their two shops because it was just too big, too expensive, too complicated. The other thing that this really does, the other problem that's been had in the past is the automated prevention. The problem is if you go out and you detect the coffee shop next door as a rogue AP, and if you try and do something about it by shutting down that access point or disrupting its service, next thing you know, you're going to have the FCC knocking on your door with some big fines because you've done willful disruption of somebody else's broadcast. And the other problem that we've seen is nothing else is really simple and easy to do out there on the market. So that's where we come in. Our patented threat ID can eliminate the false positives, hands-free prevention, and they're claiming no IT pro needed. You know, there is a little bit of learning curve, as you guys will see as we get into this, but it is easy for small businesses to create an ad campaign, put the Facebook login out there, put it all together fairly quickly, and get it up and running. So you don't have to have a full-time wireless guy to be able to get these up and running. So management that scales reliably. If you're using a controller approach, you've got to buy more controllers as your hardware grows. Cloud approach, no hardware, it's great, but a lot of times there's limited visibility. With this, the WatchGuard Wi-Fi cloud, we don't need the hardware. There's no limit on the number of APs and customers. It is set up to be multi-tenanted. It is also going to be very friendly for my MSP partners out there that are managing large distributed enterprises because of the way that the management scales. You can set policies at the top level, and every time you add a location with new APs, all of that management configuration is going to flow down from the top level, so you won't have to make multiple changes across different sites. So let's talk a little bit more in depth on what sets our wireless intrusion prevention apart. Part of it is it's 24/7 active monitoring. So one of the things that it is doing, it is monitoring what it sees over the airwaves, and it also monitors what it sees on the wire at the same time. So most of the competitors out there, they are usually going to be doing either air polling or wire polling, but they're not going to be doing both at the same time. In fact, one of the techniques that the competitors use to try and get around the patents on our Wi-Fi is they do what's called switch polling, where they will actually pull the switch and try and get the ARP addresses of all of the different devices connected to the network. Problem is that's not very reliable. It can sometimes lead to the false positives, because if you're connected a couple of switches away, it's not going to know some of that information, and you're not going to be able to see, what is actually connected on the network. So because we are doing both active monitoring on both the air and the wire, we actually are able to see that. We will inject marker packets into the network so that we can actually see when these marker packets reach other destinations on the network. We're able to see what's inside the network, what is outside of the network. The other thing that it's going to do for you with the WIPs is the automatic classification of access points and clients. You will see the fact as you go through it now, even with the existing WatchGuard APs, if you're using the Gateway Wireless Controller, all it does is it shows you a list of these are the APs, these are the clients that we see out there. But then you have to go through and mark, these are the ones we know about, this is the coffee shop next door, this is the business across the street, and it is a manual process to classify those. We change that with our new wireless products so that it will automatically classify these and tell you if it is an authorized access point, is it rogue, or is it external to our network, and it will know the difference between those. It's going to go through and it's going to learn the behavior of clients, and we can make preventative steps, hands-free automation for taking down rogue APs. Basically what we're doing in the background is we flood the thing with disconnect packets, and it shuts down under the load and stops broadcasting. Now the problem with that is if you try and shut down the neighbor's AP, you've now broken FCC's Section 333 willful or malicious interference. You've shut that down. So I just want to highlight one of the things one of our competitors point out. In Cisco's Meraki world, their product that does this is called Air Marshal, and they put right in their white paper, they say extreme caution should be taken to ensure that containment, or the shutting down of rogue APs, is not being performed on a legitimate network nearby, and action should only be taken as a last resort. This is because they know there's too many false positives in their system, and they don't want you shutting down Starbucks next door. Otherwise, you're going to be facing all kinds of lawsuits. So our wireless intrusion prevention system really eliminates that problem of the rogue AP detection false positive. The other thing that I really want to highlight, and I'll show you some examples here in a second, is this is built in with the ability to do all kinds of captive portals. We can do when the splash screen that'll pop in when somebody connects to your Wi-Fi, we can tie that into Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn even, and have people log in with their social networking credentials, and that gives you all of information about that user. So this is going to be great for your marketing department who wants to know a little bit more about the customers that are coming in. They can get all of that information right away. Now, the competition out there, they usually will send you to a third-party tool or something out there. Cloud4Y is one that's out there that they charge $320 per AP per year to cover some of this stuff. We give it to you free out of the box. Wi-Fi analytics, and I'll give you some examples of that, but basically we'll show you traffic patterns, what people are doing inside your environment. When they walk by the store, do they actually come in? And if you want to do that with a lot of our competitors, you go out to Euclid, and they charge $240 per AP per year to generate the same stuff that we're including for free. So this is just a quick example of what you can do with a splash page. Make it really simple. Say, okay, sign in to enjoy free Wi-Fi. Great. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, if anybody uses that anymore. I know we all have a Google ID because we all have Gmail accounts. But it gives you the ability to capture that information. You can also even take it a step further. We can add in coupons. We can do reservations. We can do any number of things. In fact, if they log in, you can require that they use a cell phone, give you their cell phone number, and on the back end you set up an account and you can actually text them coupons. So once into your network that you have their cell number, you can start sending them texts about your promos, your special coupons for while they're in the store, all kinds of great things that you can do with it. So the other piece of it is the zone analytics, the looking at things like where is the traffic going in your store, how much time is somebody spending looking at a display, for example, at the front of the store. Or if it was a car dealership, do they spend their time looking at the trucks or the cars, or where are they spending time at the dealership? So what this gives you the ability to do, a lot of us don't realize it, as if our cell phone is turned on, that cell phone, if it has the Wi-Fi enabled, it is beaconing, and it can actually, these access points can look up. You might not be connecting, but you're still sending a beacon out to find out what is out there. That's the scanning that your cell phone does automatically to tell you what Wi-Fi access points are available. So by looking at that information, we can actually start looking at the profiles of the guest, the analytics. If they log in with their Facebook account, we get their name and their picture, you get their age, their gender, all of this information is available. We can look at conversion rates. If they're walking by the storefront and say the cell phone beacons and we pick up that there's a user walking by, how many of those actually then come into the store? We can load up floor plans so that we can actually look and see, and this one's just a real simple one. It was one that we did of one of our engineers' houses, so the floor plan isn't very big, but we can actually show where users spend time. That's the dwell time on this. So a couple other just quick features that are available with this. There is a mobile app, the Go application that I'll show you here in just a second, that if you just need a quick and dirty access point set up, you can push out an SSID in a matter of a few minutes. For some of you bigger guys, there is a RESTful API available for this, so that if you need to get in and make configuration changes without going through the GUI, if you want to set up automated systems, all of that is available. There's another cool option on our deployment as well. So if you deploy these as all WatchGuard APs, that's great. They provide the wireless signal. Say somebody just a year ago bought a competitor's access point and they want to be able to do the wireless intrusion prevention. We can actually deploy these radios just as WIPS sensors, and it will coexist with your existing Wi-Fi deployment, but it gives you all of that patented WIPS technology. A lot of, if you look at it, a lot of the competitors are doing WIDS, wireless intrusion detection, where we can take it the step further and we do the wireless intrusion prevention and give you the ability to lock those down automatically, eliminate the rogues automatically. And by deploying a few WIPS sensors in the environment, you can offer those features to somebody that is doing the full Wi-Fi. So why do we win? It's a superior Wi-Fi experience, better performance, best-in-class automation, robust user engagement, and analytics. These are some great things that we get out of this. So that's it for the slides. I do apologize for the death by PowerPoint. Like I said, wasn't going to go as technical with this presentation, but we will dive into this a little deeper in the future webinars. But as we've got a few minutes left, I just want to show you a couple of things with the management tools, give you an idea of where to go and what you can do with this. On your WatchGuard account, once you log into the portal, you will have the ability to register these APs. You register them just like you would any other firewall. Enter the serial number online, activate the product. Once you've activated the product, you are going to now have this managed Wi-Fi cloud from your support page. And I went ahead and opened that up ahead of time just in another tab here. So I've got different things available to me here so that I can, depending on what I want to do with this. So just to start with the simple things, the Go product, WatchGuard Go, say you've got just a basic deployment, you want to get these up and running real quick. I'll add a Wi-Fi network here. Do I want to add it as a private network? Do I want to add it as a guest network? It's just a toggle one way or another. We'll just call this demo, give it a pre-shared key as a password. I can get into the advanced. Do I want to turn on DHCP on this to have the access point provide the IP addresses? We can turn on some content filtering, what we want to do, some basic stuff there. If you were not doing the WatchGuard firewall of doing your content filtering, those are options available. You can even edit the schedule. So that quickly, I've saved this, oops, and Wi-Fi network with all this, with the same name is already there. So we'll call this Tips and Tricks SSID, just so I know I don't have another one out there. That Wi-Fi network is saved. I come in here and yeah, there's my demo, and we'll turn this on here in a second. That's actually going to push from the cloud down to my access point. The access point is sitting on the desk here in front of me. I just saw the indicator lights on it turn orange. It's telling me it's communicating with the cloud. Here in a minute, if I looked at my Wi-Fi signals, I would see that being pushed out here. It takes 2 or 3 minutes in most cases to put that up on the network and to get that broadcast out. So from the Launchpad, some of the other stuff, the management piece of this. This gets in. I want to just show you real quickly how easy it is to set up multiple locations. So if you're managing a large Wi-Fi, you set some policies, you set it up at the top level, and I don't have any in the top level. But if I come down here to my St. Louis network, I can start coming up with, I've got a trade show environment that I'm going to be building for a trade show I'm doing next week. Real quickly, since I'm running this in the lab, we'll call this the home network. And we can do that, and inside of the home network, I can actually add and say this is the basement, and inside of here we've got another AP on the main floor. So I can actually have APs that are classified between different locations, and then come back here. If I come back to my access point here, go in and look at my managed devices, I want this particular AP be on the main floor. I can come down here and change my location, sorry, right icon here, and say, okay, this one is going to be in my house and it's going to be on the main floor access point, and I can say okay, and it will ask me, do I want to keep the templates that were set up above? Absolutely yes, or no, I want to have different configurations. So depending on where these APs are going, I can now say these are the APs, they inherit all of their settings, but I can divide these up between multiple locations. So with that said, there's all kinds of other stuff we can do in here. We can look at reporting. I just want to make a quick pitch here for the compliance reports and show you guys these. HIPAA, PCI DSS, 3.1, 3.0. There's all kinds of hand reporting built into this, and gives you the ability to you know, even your SOX, GBA, some of this stuff, even the Defense Department, DoD directive compliance reporting is built into this. The forensics will give you the ability to look at what's out there. So all kinds of tools, and the nice thing about this is as I create a top-level location, I can set all of my forensics stuff, I can set my WIPs at a top-level location, and then those will flow down through the different environments in my network. So you'll notice I've got a new AP that I haven't finished set up, so it's telling me right now I've got a misconfigured device that's on my network that's active right now. So real quickly, you know, we don't have much more time. I know it is our 30-minute mark right now. I just want to show you the Engage tool. This gives you the ability to create those captive portals. We can do a basic campaign. We can do an advanced campaign. And if we say come in here, just create they give you some examples of a splash page. You can get in and customize these to your heart's content. We want to add a new one. We'll just call it Demo, again, my favorite name, and give us the ability to get in and start working on this and see what do we want to do. We put our own, there's some pre-built ones in here, some great examples of what you can do with it. So you want to see how it looks on the page when they actually click that. You have a preview button, it'll go out there, and this is what the users will see. The last part of it is the Analyze tool, which the Analyze tool gives you all of that analytics ability. Once this pulls up here, I know we have the fastest web page in the world, but I can look at the last 7 days, the last 30 days by default, how many total footfalls. Just right off the bat, it's telling me it detected 62 access point or 62 wireless clients on the network. How many of those actually came into my local area? There were 50 of those, and so we converted 81%. This gets into the analytics of who's doing what and where they're going. All kinds of great information in here. How long they remained on the premises, time periods for when they were in, gives you number of unique daily visitors. So great tools to actually look at and sell these to to any kind of retail establishment that might want to have this kind of analytics at their fingertips. So with that, we are at the end of our time. I'm not going to go on too much longer. I do thank you guys very much. As always, this is being recorded. We will get a link out for these if you missed the first part of the webinar or weren't able to attend. It'll be out on the South Central YouTube page that you guys are used to looking for. We'll get that out to everybody. So again, thanks everyone for your time. Look for some more webinars down the road for the next couple of months where we're going to start delving a little deeper into the management and configuration on these. So with that, I will turn things back over to Elaine.